So we're here again. We learn the fate of our Brisbane clubs in the Westfield FFA Cup. We've had some of the Capital League teams already play in round 2. We're going to throw in the remaining Capital League 1 sides, as well as all 12 clubs from the Flight Centre Premier League. So that gives us the following breakup into this draw. We have the 12 Flight Centre Premier League sides. We have 11 Capital 1 clubs, 8 Capital 2, 7 from Capital 3, and our lone Capital 4 club at the moment is Deception Bay, but there's still one tie outstanding, and that'll be played on Monday the 22nd of February between Capital 1 Grange Thistle and Capital 4 Caboolture. We've got Alan Eadie on hand in case we run into any troubles. He's the adjudicator today. So with no further ado, let's get into this draw. And our first, now I've got to work out how to do the Kinder Surprise. I'll get there in the end. Bit of a training session. Our first club out is North Star. So North Star at home, their opponent will be fellow Capital 1 club in Moggle. So we'll have 20 ties by the end of this, another bumper round. Our second tie is Tarragindi Tigers. Defeated Ipswich City Bulls in the previous round. Really having trouble with this today. I'll need a training lesson before next time. They'll be up against the Flight Centre Premier League, Eastern Suburbs. So tasty little clash there with East travelling to the Capital 3 club. Our third tie is Wolves FC. And they'll be taking on Capital 2's Redcliffe PCYC at Carmichael Park. Into the fourth tie now. And it will be Jimboomba United. And their opponent will be, let's see who's got a tough little tricky test out to Jimboomba. It'll be Roger Hunter's Southside Eagles. So we continue on. Our next club out is Deception Bay, making their return back to Football Brisbane. And they'll be up against Pine Hills. Our next tie, got the hang of this now, Alan. It is the Flight Centre Premier League's Ipswich Knights. Another home tie for them. I think they've had a pretty good run of home ties in recent years. And Park Ridge will be their opponents. Next side out. Centenary Stormers, who have been creating a story themselves in the Westfield FFA Cup over previous years. They beat Logan Metro in the last round. They'll be hosting the Flight Centre Premier League's UQFC. So a nice little journey out to Darra for UQFC. Toowong is our next team out of the bowl. And the Capital 3 club will be hosting the Flight Centre Premier League's Holland Park Hawks. Our next tie. Haven't had a lot of Premier League clubs out yet, so could be interesting later on. Taringa Rovers. They'll be at home to Souths United. So an all Capital League 1 clash, that one. Next up, we have Mitchelton. And the Mustangs will be at home to the Brisbane Force. Might stir these up a bit. Next one. It's our last remaining tie that we have to play, so it'll be either Grange, Thistle or Caboolture. And and they will be hosting Annerley. Peninsula Power will feature in the next tie. Their opponents are going to be Brisbane Knights. Getting through them now. Maroondah. And they'll be taking on Virginia United, who snuck past St George Willawong, the new boys, on a penalty shootout. Then we have Narangba United. Making the journey up there will be the reigning Flight Centre Premier League premiers, Lions FC. Nice little journey from Richlands to Narangba there for the premiers. Of course, Lions made the round of 16 last year. Next tie is Acacia Ridge. And their opponents will be AC Carina. So that's an all capital 3 clash, that one. Then we have Logan FC. And they'll be taking on reasonably close to home, just up the M1, Mount Gravatt. So I think we've got about 4 ties left to go. Next up, it's Rochdale Rovers. And they'll be taking on Bayside United. Then we have Capital 3's New Farm United. Capital 2, I should say, shouldn't I? Slightly getting up with the new times. And their opponents will be Pine Rivers United, so they'll have a lovely afternoon trip down to New Farm Park, perhaps. Then we have Capalaba. Capalaba will take on Capital 2's The Gap. And the final tie, it's North Pine at home. And their opponent will be a derby against Albany Creek out at Bob Rock Park. So they are the 20 ties for round 3 of the Brisbane Zone in the Westfield FFA Cup. I might just bring Alan in. When are they scheduled to be hosted?
They're due to be played on the weeks containing 1st to 3rd of March or the 8th to the 10th of March.
Yes, so
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights.
So not too far away from that one. So an intriguing round once again. Let's see what happens in the next step of the Westfield FFA Cup journey.